Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Vicky. I'm from a charity in Lincolnshire called Everyone. What I'm going to do is basically just talk about what we believe as an organisation, and part of that will be a part of my reflections as someone that's relatively new, both back into the voluntary sector and the health and social care sector in Lincolnshire. My background's in local government, so I've come from the dark side and come over into the voluntary sector side. It'll also reflect on personal experiences as well, and I'm afraid I'll probably raise more questions than answers, so I'm not going to send you away with lots of answers of how to do it differently, but I'll raise hopefully some questions. So first of all, why am I here? That's why I'm here. That's my mum, that's my dad. My mum's 86, she has dementia, and my dad is 83, I think it is, and he's her main carer. I've watched my dad over the years go from a strong man that worked in the factory all his life to become somebody that's ended up in crisis. I've seen my dad cry. He has gone from somebody who's strong to somebody who has to do the washing, the cleaning, everything, and I've seen his emotional well-being eroded over time because of his caring responsibility for my mum. Carers in Lincolnshire, we have over 79,000 carers in Lincolnshire, and that is set to grow. We've talked about the ageing population. Whilst not all carers are older people, our youngest carer in Lincolnshire is 3. Predominantly a lot of carers are older, so that is a growing sector. So that's why I'm here personally, and you'll hear me mention mum and dad quite a lot. So as an organisation, Everyone is a registered charity based in Lincolnshire, and we were previously known as Lincolnshire Carers and Young Carers Partnership, but there were changes to contracting relationships and things like that, so we've had a change of name and a change of direction slightly. So we're called Everyone because we believe we want to work with everyone, but it's about every one person. It's about individual approaches and supporting individuals as people in their own right. And we do that by developing a range of services and projects that work towards making wellbeing personal. So I'll talk about each of the points, why we believe making wellbeing personal is important. So we believe people should be at the centre of their own health and social care through having choice and control. And that choice and control can also be to make good choices and bad choices, but it's informed choices. My mum, poor mum, she gets bandied around a lot, but she's 86, and every time we take her into hospital, the doctors say, "Hello, Jo, are you a smoker?" "Yes." She's a smoker. She's been smoking since she was 13. And she always gets told off for being a smoker. "Hadn't you ought to give up?" No, it's what's holding her together. She's pickled in nicotine, poor thing. You know, it's what she needs. It's what's important to her. She's not interested in what they're doing to her. She wants to get out and have a fag. But that's her choice. It's her personal choice. And should we stop her from doing that? So we very much believe that people should have choice, informed choices, but we should support them to make those good choices and, if necessary, those bad choices. We believe that services should be built around the person and not the process. How often do we see big processes and plans and actions that are big beasts, but actually we forget the individual? So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for a second and just with your finger in the air, just draw your organisation's structure chart. What does your organisation look like? How many of you drew something like this, where there's somebody at the top in charge, there's lots of lots of departments and services, and there's all those people working to make people's well-being better? I'd like to challenge people to think differently about how they draw the structure of their organisation and to actually put the person at the centre and start with the person and work around how you're going to deliver things outside of that. How does the person's mental well-being, their housing needs, the roads and transport, and how does everything fit into fitting around that individual? So I would ask you next time that you're designing a project or thinking about a structure or thinking about how you're going to develop something new, draw the person first and see what comes out of that, rather than how you create this big beast that serves a function and actually doesn't necessarily get to the right people at the end. We believe that one size does not fit all. As I say, we're very much around personalised approaches, and not these systems and processes that we create don't fit everybody. We're all individuals and we all have different needs. My dad worked in a factory all his life. He cares for my mum 24/7, and he has described himself as a prisoner. The type of dementia my mum has, she doesn't want to leave the home, and she wants my dad sat next to her every minute of the day. She thinks he's been out all day. He's been there all day. The services that are on offer to carers quite often are peer support groups. Great, that's a lot of people, but my dad can't leave the house. What about him? He's an individual, he's got different needs. How do we support him to get support at the point of crisis? And how do we design services that can fit all the different needs that people have? We believe that whilst people should have choice control, they need support to exercise choice and control. You can't just hand it to people on a plate and say, there you go, sort yourself out. I have a personal bugbear that comes in around signposting. We talk a lot in a lot of sectors about how we signpost people to the right services. And I've seen signposting in action. My dad went into crisis 2 years ago. My mum broke her leg, ended up in a care home for a couple of months. And my dad's near gone because he'd been lifting her onto the commode. And sorry, he was crying. Anyway, so I thought, right, Dad needs a new carers assessment. I'll send off one and get that sorted through. What came in the post was an A4 envelope with approximately 30 leaflets in it. Over half of those leaflets were aimed at young carers, and the other leaflets were generally duplicating each other. And Dad looked at it and said, I don't know where to start, put his coffee cup on it, and has never touched it since. He's never had his carers assessment, and that's shocking because I work in the care sector. So I should really get that sorted. But that was signposting. That was, I've done my job, I've sent some leaflets, he's sorted. What about somebody that says, hello, Tony, this is what your problem is at the moment. Right, here's one leaflet. Let's talk together and see how we can get you to the front door of that service and get you sorted. We believe that people are the experts in their own lives and that sharing their lived experience can improve services and support. Planner. We've got desire lines. I love a good desire line. That everyone is different and everyone has different needs, and that we should listen to people. We talk a lot about pathways in the health and care sector. This is something I'm new to, and I keep hearing about these pathways. Somebody I heard describe a pathway as actually, we talk about journeys and pathways, and that sounds like something you choose. As a carer and someone with ill health, you don't necessarily choose to go down that path. You don't choose to go on that journey. How do we support people to find the right path for them? And how do we design services that have those different options, and we don't have a fixed idea of this is what happens next and this is what happens next to the person, because it could be different for every single person that we work with. And finally, where possible, people should be supported within the community. We've heard that mentioned, and in a way that recognises the whole person. I have a worry that we design services to generate dependence on them. How often do we have a service where actually we're supporting people to move away from the service? And I think, for me, that's something that's around coaching. We need to develop coaching approaches to how we support people so that they can become independent and that we get them off the service. I think as well, we develop services that create more layers of complexity. I came in from local government, having worked in local government for many years, and I thought that was complicated. Oh my goodness, the health and social care sector is jolly complicated. I still haven't worked out what half of the acronyms mean. So how can we stop and just start again and maybe get rid of some of these layers of complexity? There's another thing I've noticed, we have lots of navigators in the health and care sector. Personally, I don't think you should need navigators. Why should it be so complicated? You need to hold people's hands through processes. Make it simpler in the first place. So this is where I go on to the sales pitch, our organisation. So how do we do all this? We have a range of projects that we are developing and delivering in the county. For example, we have Oasis, which is a volunteer-led telephone support service for carers of people with substance misuse. And that's run by volunteers who have been there, done that and got the T-shirt. And they're supporting those carers who are caring for somebody with substance misuse. We're setting up a new project, hopefully, fingers crossed, called Stardust, which is a group, hopefully in Lincoln, for young adults with additional needs and their parent carers to come together and create and build those social networks that they're losing after they leave the school, security of the school environment. And that's going to be done through musical theatre and drama. So we're working with those. We have I'll talk about the next one. The most important thing that I would really like you to take away is to think about how we can create a carer-friendly community. In Lincolnshire, we manage the Carers Quality Award, and that's free to any organisation in Lincolnshire to put forward a portfolio of evidence to demonstrate how they support carers in the community. We've worked with colleges, schools, GP practices, EMAS have been awarded it, hospitals, we're working with ULHT, working with LPFT, working with Lincolnshire Co-op, and they're all putting together these portfolios of evidence to demonstrate how they support carers in the community and as carers within their organisation. Any one of us could become a carer overnight. I have a friend who went to sleep, not a carer, woke up the next morning a carer. So we want to put in that support, and part of that scheme we offer free carer awareness training, so we can come into your organisation and deliver a 2-hour session on how to support carers both as employees and in your community. So I think I've done the blatant sales pitch. There's some information on how to contact us, and I'll be happy to answer questions at the end along with everybody else. Thank you.